Warzone's massive Pacific update is coming to completely overhaul the game, and if we're all being honest, it really needs it. So with that being said, let's talk about everything coming in the crazy Warzone Season 1 update. But before we jump into this video, I'm betting that you're not subscribed to this channel, and you're going to be missing out on a ton of super high quality Warzone Season 1 content. I mean, if that's fine by you, hey, keep going. But if that's not fine by you, make sure you check below to make sure that you are subscribed with notifications on. All right, now that everybody's subscribed, let's hop into the video. So the Warzone Pacific update, or the Vanguard integration into Warzone, is coming with a ton of stuff. Honestly, there's just a lot here. I've tried to whittle out all the boring stuff, so we're only talking about the meatiest, juiciest bits of content, mostly because I don't want to waste your guys' time or mine. So what exactly is coming in the Warzone Season 1 update that makes it so crazy? I mean, let's be honest, Verdansk gets a lot of lackluster updates here, so what makes this one any different? Well, to start it off, we've got the new map Caldera, and I'll talk a lot more about Caldera at the end of the video, so make sure you stay tuned for that. But in addition to that, we've got everything from destructible environments, new weapon systems, perk overhauls and changes, an entire extra battle royale mode, weapon bloom, ricochet the anti-cheat. And the first thing we're going to start with is actually the new weapon system. See, if you haven't played Vanguard yet, or if you just haven't really paid much attention, you might not have noticed that there's a big difference in the way the guns are built out in respect to Call of Duty Vanguard, and obviously those guns are going to be built out similarly once ported into Warzone. And there's an important thing I want to note right there. I said ported into Warzone, but it's really a lot more like Warzone is getting ported into Vanguard, which means there will be no question about this. The Vanguard guns will be by far superior for at least the first chunk of the game's life cycle. Obviously, there will be some standouts, like the Modern Warfare Uzi is still nasty up close. I know a lot of people who are still running the Kar 98, especially a lot of controller players, because if you didn't know, the Kar 98 gets more aim assist than the Swiss does. So there will always be reasons why people prefer certain guns from certain games, but in general, like we saw with Cold War's integration, most of the meta weapons are gonna be from Vanguard. And the craziest thing about the Vanguard guns is not that they have 10 attachments, but that 2 of those attachments are basically perks. And what do I mean by that? Well, these Vanguard weapons come with 2 slots that, if you've leveled up your gun fully, are super useful to you. One of them is called Kit, and one of them is called Proficiency. And if you've kept up with Vanguard's life cycle, you may have seen the really broken shotguns, and those were made possible by a number of things. There's a lot of attachments that go into making those guns good, but the 2 most notable aren't even physical weapon attachments for the gun. They are actually both proficiencies. One called Gung Ho, which completely removes your sprint to fire time, which on PC was just nasty with auto attack sprint. And then on top of that, Vital, which increases the critical hit area. And something interesting to note about Vital is it's actually already in Warzone, it's just not taking effect yet. So if you go look at the STG blueprint that a lot of us got from, I think it was the last battle pass before that, maybe it was this battle pass, I don't even remember. Point being, if you play through your battle passes, you'll have this STG, and it actually has Vital equipped on it already. So while I don't think it's worth diving into all the specifics for all the proficiencies that I think will be broken, I think it's just worth saying, hey, watch out. These guns shoot fast and they hit hard. They have more recoil, but so did the Cold War guns before they came in. And from what I've seen going into private matches and upping the health for the bots, even when putting them at full plated health, these guns are absolutely shredding. Now, the only saving grace here is actually my next point, which is called Weapon Bloom. Weapon Bloom was found to be in Vanguard early in the game's life cycle. It was actually nerfed pretty quickly after. So if you played Vanguard in that first few day window and you felt like you should have been hitting shots that you weren't, it's because literally there was randomized recoil put into your bullet path. That has since been reduced, but it's still there, meaning when you're shooting somebody at 150, 200 meters with an AR in Warzone, it's going to be even harder to hit those targets if you're using Vanguard weapons, especially if you're using an AR. And honestly, I think that's going to make for a pretty overpowered setup that is something like Cold War for long range and Vanguard for close range. Obviously, we'll have to see how that cookie crumbles when the game comes out, but that's just my guess for right now. The next thing we're going to talk about is the fact that there is another battle royale coming. That's right, when you load up Warzone Pacific on December 9th or December 8th if you have already bought Vanguard, you'll be greeted by 2 different options. You can play the standard battle royale that has your heartbeat sensors, your Swiss, your Kar 98K, all of that, or you can play the Vanguard battle royale, which is going to have only the Vanguard weapons. Obviously no heartbeat sensors or anything like that because those aren't in Vanguard. Now with that, obviously you won't be able to pull in any of your blueprints, any of your skins, anything like that. I actually don't know about operators. I would assume you'll be able to use whatever operators you want, but I do know for a fact that none of the weapon utility from Modern Warfare and Cold War is coming with. And I think this is in an effort to get people open to the idea of not having all the stuff that they've been paying for the last 3 years. And also I think it gives the team developing on the back end a smaller pool of weapons to make sure are balanced. It's hard to balance beam or Cold War guns with the high recoil Vanguard guns, but it's not very hard if you're just using the Vanguard guns. Now in this second mode, in this Vanguard Battle Royale, that's where you're gonna find behind a lot of the plane action that we've seen from the trailers. There's rumored to be another plunder type mode that's like all planes or something. That's not really important to the people here, I don't think. Let me know in the comment section down below if you're a plunder main. I just don't know if there's that many of you guys. I don't know. And with that final thing, I wanted to talk about the perk changes that are incoming to Warzone. So right now, we all know the way Ghost works as it is, which is that once you're ghosted, you're off heartbeats and you're off UAVs pretty much exclusively, with the exception of advanced UAVs and a couple other things. Once Vanguard hits, that is not how this is going to work anymore. The way that Ghost works inside of Vanguard is that you have to be moving for it to count. Now, I don't want to pretend to know exactly where they're going to put each perk because there's a lot of things that are different in Vanguard than in Warzone, but I will tell you, maybe this is tinfoil hat. I feel like this is inevitable. The Ghost perk from Vanguard is replacing the Ghost perk that we have currently. So if you're somebody who's really into holding towers, holding power positions, you're really going to have to figure out a new play style or pick weapons that really suit you being pushed. I think this is really the only thing they could have done to counteract the heartbeat meta, and I understand why they didn't do it in the middle of the game's life cycle because it would have just caused an uproar. But if you do it with a new game, it's a little bit easier for people to get on board with. You know, everyone's distracted by trying to find new jump spots. They're not really super concerned that their heartbeat doesn't work the same. And speaking of jump spots, we have to get into the meat and potatoes of this, which are the final 2 points: Vanguard's new engine and the new Warzone map Caldera. Now, Vanguard's engine is actually exceptionally smooth once you work out all the the default settings. I made a video the other day that a lot of you have really seemed to latch onto, so I'll put it in the description down below. But it is basically showing you how to take Vanguard from the kind of weird, cinematic, clunky game that it feels like to a really smooth Modern Warfare 19 Warzone-esque experience. I won't chat too much about this, mostly because I know a lot of us are just waiting for the Caldera info. But yes, the new engine is coming. It is not going to be on the same Modern Warfare 19 engine that you've been playing on for the last 2 years. Sledgehammer themselves said they really wanted to make it a seamless experience going from Vanguard to Warzone, unlike last year with Cold War, where Cold War felt so different. If you practice on Cold War and then hopped over to Warzone, it was just a terrible experience, whereas now you'll be able to warm up in Vanguard and then hop onto Warzone Pacific, and you shouldn't feel any difference. All right, now the final thing we're going to talk about is Caldera. That's right, the new map coming to Warzone Pacific in the Season 1 update. Oh, guys, we did it. It was supposed to be here in a few days. Now it's going to be here in a week and a few days, but still, we did it. We got through Verdansk 84. We got through the original Verdansk. We got through the ATC snipers, the prison campers, godforsaken rocks. We did it. We got through all of it, and now we finally have a new map coming out that, according to Sledgehammer, is based on a 1.5 or 2 years of listening to community feedback. That's their opening line about Caldera, is this map is built on community feedback. And I think the biggest note of that, and the biggest way you could tell that, is straight up by the way that the light renders inside of this. You are not going to get rose skins in a corner in the darkness. It is bright, it is vibrant, it will look good in clips, it will look good when you load it up for the first time, it'll look good when you load it up for the 1,000th time. And I think that's the biggest thing, is what Verdansk had going for it was intrigue. You would hop in, you're like, wow, this is crazy, but it was very gray, it was very tone deaf. Especially with that 1984 update, they tried to make things brighter, and literally the only thing they changed was the red. So to me, the biggest thing here is visibility, and this will matter even more to you if you're a console player, which I know a lot of you guys are. It should be way easier to spot enemies now. I've seen some concerns about the foliage. From everything I've seen from leakers, it really does not look like there's that much bush dense area for people to hide in. Obviously there will be some, it's a battle royale, it's a big map, but it looks like on the whole it's like plants on the ground, not like a large bush. Obviously there's a lot of trees that you can kind of bob and weave between, all of that kind of stuff, but all in all what we've seen so far is actually super cool. The only bad part is everything's getting leaked early. Like the entire Warzone Secrets of the Pacific event that's going on right now, all those postcards were leaked like a week ago. I had them up on my Twitter, like I was sending them to my friends, and then this new update comes out and everyone's like, oh, should we do it? And, oh wait, we've seen all these pictures already. Speaking of which, I'll leave a link to my Twitter in the comment section down below if you want to go follow me on there. Stay up to date on all things Warzone, and you can also see my tacos that I make, which by the way are al pastor tacos on corn tortillas, if anybody was curious. Now there are a lot of cool POIs, and I've actually gone through and made this graphic of about where everything looks. It's, you know, obviously it's rough. The map isn't officially out yet, so it's hard to say exactly how correct the positioning on all these are, but this is as best as I could do from the screenshots and stuff that we have. And man, I'm telling you, this looks sick. There's so many little details and little things in here that it seems like they are just taking massive hints on. So at the center of Caldera's map, we actually have the volcano. Now, will this volcano erupt from time to time? Absolutely. Will it ruin parts of the map from time to time? Absolutely. Is this confirmed by Sledgehammer? Absolutely not. Now, around the volcano, we actually have phosphor mines, taro farms, and airport, and then straight south of all that, we have the city capital. Conversely, all the way at the top, we have the naval shipyard and the ore processing docks, and then all the way over to the west, we have the ancient structures and the fishing village. The only thing I haven't noted here is the beach defenses and the submarine base. It's just hard to know which one's which. The rest of these are pretty easy to peg their locations. But with that being said, that is everything we know so far about the crazy Season 1 update coming to Warzone. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. My name has been Pineapple. Make sure you are subscribed with that bell notification ring, and I will see you guys very soon with more high quality Warzone content. All right, peace.